and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you the top books that I read this year in 2024. I read so many books this year, really. I think I'm at like 52 books. I thought that I would let you guys know what I think is worth reading. Let's just get straight into it. I'm going to start off with my 4.5s because those are a good time. They were like almost damn near perfect, and so I feel like they should still be put in here. And then we'll go into the 5s, and I'm gonna kind of group them by authors so you guys can do what you will with that. Okay, we'll start out with my Ali Hazelwood's. I read Love Theoretically. I gave this one 4.5 stars, and I said it was such a cute story. I binge read it in like 2 days. The only reason that I didn't give it 5 stars is because I felt like the main character was like the tiniest bit unrelatable, but it's a like science couple, true enemies to lovers. Kept me engaged the whole time, had a great little hook, got me ooh, and then kept me the whole time, swept me away. And so yeah, thoroughly enjoyed that book. The next Ali Hazelwood book that I literally gave 4.75 stars. Why am I psycho and not just give it 5 stars? I don't know. But that would be Bride. This book actually came out this year, and it was her first like venture into sci-fi fantasy type books, and I devoured it. It totally reminded me of like Wattpad teenage Jasmine, who like basically only read werewolf vampire books. Like, I don't know if that's like a subgenre. Well, I read every book in it, and I refused to read anything else. And so this really brought her back. She was giggling, screaming, kicking her feet, and she ate it up. Paranormal romance, that's the genre. Literally so good. I loved it. This one is about a vampire who has to go live with the werewolves for whatever reason. I was gonna leave it at that. So good. Book of Night by Holly Black, 4.5 stars. I honestly forgot that I read that in this year. Swear I thought it was last year that I read it, but I was looking back to my Goodreads and it was literally January 25th when I finished it. It was just like creepy and you don't know what's happening. There's a heist. I love a good heist. And I listened to this on audiobook, and although it was like a tiny bit confusing because there's a lot of names and a lot of faces, I thought that it was really well done. I would definitely recommend it on audiobook. Yeah, it was like a little bit mysterious, a little bit like who done it, and it really gave me like Ninth House vibes. So if you liked Ninth House, I think you'll love Book of Night. Yeah, I give that one 4.5 stars. So good. Really enjoyed it. Then, because I literally can't make a video without talking about these books, I read Iron Flame this year. It was wow, changed my life. So good. I give it 4.5 stars, and then I am now rereading Fourth Wing in preparation for Onyx Storm, which is coming out January 21st. Oh my gosh. And yeah, just go read that book series. If you love fantasy, if you love dragons, if you love people that can control shadows, if you love powers, if you love banter, if you love enemies to lovers, if you want to cry and die and then be reborn just to be killed again, I'm gonna need you to pick up Fourth Wing. Yeah, to say it has a hold on me is an understatement. Basically my whole like For You page is just Fourth Wing memes at the moment, and yes, I cry to them. Anyways, moving on. Yeah, those books are great. Really quickly, if you don't know what Fourth Wing is about, it's basically about this girl who is trying to become a dragon rider, and so she's going through basically like a war college to become that. I gave Iron Flame 4.5 stars, and I gave Fourth Wing 5 stars. The only reason that Iron Flame got a little bit lower of a rating for me is just because it's a little bit more world building, it's a little bit slower paced. I still ate it up, but it's just, it wasn't as like all encapsulating as Fourth Wing. Moving on, the last 4.5 book that I put in here was by a new author that I had just read for the first time this year. That would be The Exception to the Rule. It's a short story by Christina Lauren, which is actually 2 authors that co-write together, Christina and Lauren. The Exception to the Rule was a cute little short story, and I just ate it up. I read it on a plane in like one sitting, and it was good, and I loved it. It was just a little cute, meet cute. And then read their brand new novel that came out this year called The Paradise Problem. I gave that one 5 stars. So good. It's basically about this girl and this guy, and they get married because they want to get cheap housing in their dorm. But it's like basically just a sham of a wedding. They're just married because, you know, they want the cheap housing. They move on with their lives after they graduate, and they never see each other again, and it's whatever. But then, like 5 years later, the guy comes back and he's like, hey, so this whole time we've actually still been married, and I get a huge inheritance at the end of this 5 years if we can continue to convince everybody that we're married. So you have to come with me to my sister's wedding and pretend to be my wife. Also, did I mention I'm rich? I ate it up. If you like Crazy Rich Asians, you'll love it. Say less. I ate it up. I love a fake dating. It kills me every time, and I know it's gonna happen, and I still love it. So yeah, totally 5 stars for me. So good. So then I found this at a little bookstore in Colorado when I was there. I actually have it in a reading vlog, but I read Swimming Lessons by Lily Reinhardt. I didn't know that she had a book. It's a collection of poetry, and it's literally so stunning. There's little illustrations, and it's so good. I loved it. 10 out of 10. Moving on, I read Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmis, and it changed my life. This is my little review because I think it's so cute. I said, wow, just wow. What an amazing, heart-wrenching, beautifully written story about a woman unapologetically and unabashedly changing the world one element at a time. Yes, feminist, heartbreaking, uplifting, motherhood, love. Not at all what I was expecting, but one of the best books I've ever read. You don't even need to know what it's about. Just read it. Just read it. I want to watch the show so badly, but I don't have that subscription, so maybe I'll pirate it at some point, but until then, I haven't. All right, moving on. I read Love Scene Take 2. This is like such a little unknown book. Like, for comparison, Iron Flame has 1,538,127 ratings, and this one has 853. So it's very like unknown. It's also an advanced readers edition I did not even know that I had. So that's really cool. It's by Alex Evansley. I loved it, and I need them to write more things because I'm their stan. And even if I'm the only person on the planet, well, I'm sorry, that's a lie. 853 other people also stan them, but so good. I devoured it. I couldn't put it down. It's a closed door romance. Teddy Sharp, he is a famous actor, basically is trying to become the lead actor in this like book series that's being adapted to a movie, and he kind of like ends up having a little bit of like a romance with the author of the book that is being turned into a movie. It's literally so good. And it's just like, I don't know, one of them's famous, one of them's an author. It's so wholesome, and I just loved it, and I ate it up. And I think everybody should read it. And if you know me, we live close by or whatever, I will let you borrow it in a heartbeat, because I don't even know if you can like buy this. It's not famous, but please, I need it to be famous. It's so good. It's so good. If they made this into a movie, I swear I'd cry. I would literally cry. Moving on, I read This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune, and this book was so good. Why did I eat it up? I loved it. 5 stars all around. It was the best friend's brother. Slow burn. The tension literally killed me. Like, it was mostly closed door like 2/3 of the time, which I enjoyed, and a forbidden romance, like they're not supposed to be together, and like it was literally unputdownable. Please read this book. I also read this book without reading the back, and so like literally by the prologue I was like, I'm hooked. If you like read the back, then the prologue is not that crazy. But if you don't read the back, which just go into it blind, and you'll be like, what in the world? So good. I love this book. can't rave about it enough. Then this is another little summer book, and I've been getting this one and the last one like totally confused in my mind because their titles are literally the same. But this one's called Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, and this one was, wow, literally not what I was expecting at all. It was so good, but also it's like heavy, so like know that going in. It was everything. It was gut-wrenching. It was such a like heartfelt love story, and like they went through so much trauma to get here, and like you're rooting for them. You want them to work so badly. But I felt like it was so good. I'm getting chills thinking about it. It was crazy. And I loved it. Beautiful writing and a beautiful story, and like just like I said, nothing that I was expecting. Just for the Summer is about this guy who like writes on a forum, and he's like, I have the worst luck. Like every time that I date somebody, the next person that they date, like after we break up, ends up being their soulmate. And so then this girl is like, bro, the exact same thing is happening to me. So if we like pretend date, you know, and then break up, we'll find our soulmates. And so that is kind of the start of it. But they're both like going through their own things, and like so good, so good. The second to last book that I'm going to talk about is The 5-Star Weekend by Ellen Hinderbrand. So good. I actually love her now. Like, I read 2 of her books this summer, and they're so summertimey vibes and like just so good. But also they're like heavy. I don't know, I love them. Very like Nantucket vibes. The 5-Star Weekend is basically about this woman, and her husband ends up dying very unexpectedly and sudden in a car crash, and so she is obviously very depressed. She also like has a cooking blog online, and she decides from like she saw this online to have a 5-star weekend. And so you invite best friends from each phase of your life: her teenage years, her 20s, her 30s, and her midlife. And so she like hosts this. Then you get like varying POVs from like all the different women, and they're all going through like so much. And then also her daughter, and just like how they like all reconnect for this weekend. And there's also like this crazy little thing like going on in the background that you don't really know about. And there's also like a little bit of mystery behind her husband's death. Just all of it made for a crazy good story. I listened to this one on audiobook while I was driving down to the beach for a little beach weekend. Stunning, so good. It made the drive fly by, so I really enjoyed it. And then finally, the last book that I'm going to talk about, so good, that would be When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. Stunning. This book is long, I'm not gonna lie. 718 pages. I did read it on my Kindle, so it kind of flew by, to be honest. I wasn't like intimidated because I couldn't see the length, so that helped. But it was stunning. It was so good. It was everything. It reminded me how much I love fantasy, and I freaking ate it up. The writing was beautiful. The imagery, the language choice, like literally said it sounds like poetry at times because it's so pretty. The world building, I was obsessed with. The mystery of it all, okay. And then the ending, goddamn, I need the next one now. There's dragons, there's a baddie main character, there's like magic. It is a little bit open door romance, but I would say that it's probably like closer to romantasy than like just regular fantasy, but it still had like real world building. I thought this was so pretty. So this is like in the prologue, I think, and she's basically just like describing like how the world was made and like their religion, and she's talking about the gods, and they're basically like element based. She's talking about the fire god and the wind god, and it says Ignos, the fire god, was a glutton for Claude. The god of fire feasted on her, consumed her, loved her so much he could not breathe without her. That was in the prologue. Yeah, go read that. Change your life. I will say, disclaimer, it was a little bit gory and explicit at times, but not too bad, because I don't really like gore. I wouldn't be about it if it was too gory, I promise you. So that brings me to the end of my best books of 2024. I read so many good books this year. Like, what is that? That's 14 good books. That's honestly not bad. And I'm a little bit picky, so I'm sure that other books that I read like this year that I didn't give 5 stars or 4.5 stars, you would also enjoy. But I didn't even tell you guys the 4-star books. I only said the best of the best. Let me know down below if you guys have read any of these books, if you loved them, if you hated them. Oh, I would cry, but it's okay. And if you have any recommendations based on these books, I hope that you guys enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, all the good things, and I'll see you in the next video.
Saw your silhouette in the backlight. Swear we